Hey, 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 it's Fiona Sade. And I am from Yayas House Beauty and Spiritual Wellness Studio. And I'm so thankful to be with y'all. Oh my goodness, we're inside of the storm. The storm is storming. It is so beautiful outside. I might add a clip or I might not. I probably won't because I don't know how to do that yet. But it is snowing so bad here in Pittsburgh. And I'm like, oh wow. But I'm so thankful that I'm inside of my rest as ritual, my winter rest as ritual, because I'm prepared for this. I got stuff in the cabinet for 2, 3 soups. Okay, when I tell you I'm ready, I'm very ready, and I don't feel frazzled. I'm gonna sit in this house, eat some soup. I got some ideas that I want to do. I have paint because I have been preparing. I have canvases. I have books. I have all the things. So I will be in here, me and my baby, relaxing, chilling, and just enjoying the shut in of the winter storm. Okay, so today, I'm very, very excited. We are going to talk about grief a little bit more because I wanted to talk about how after it softens, how after grief softens, it also deepens. And it's just a really yummy topic. So if you heard last week's, we talked about grief that softens and how grief and feeling your grief can soften. And I also discussed how, as in America, we really don't have um, a really healthy relationship with grief. And we don't really have we don't have a healthy relationship with grief. We really don't know what to do with grief. And we really don't allow ourselves to grieve. It is cultural standard to take a licking and keep on ticking. And when I said that, I started thinking about, wow, like take a licking and keep on ticking gives, like, where does that even come from? That saying, where does that even come from? That gives like take a whipping and keep on ticking. That gives, I don't know. You know, America has a history of slavery, okay? Very, very, very strong history of free work, you know what I mean? Stealing and all types of stuff. Anyway, here we go. I'm not gonna get too deep into that because that's not what today's topic is. But I'm wondering because I feel like culturally, we just have to create a new way of being with grief. Because in our, like, when we think about Africans, when we think about Caribbean people, when we really think about really Africans, I would say stands out to me the most. When we think about different religions, they have a whole process on how to grieve. Like when we talk about death, right? I'm talking about death in this specific scenario. Not maybe through the whole video, but this specific scenario I'm speaking about, um death, right? They have a way of dealing with that. I feel like the Chinese even have a way of dealing with death. I feel like Black Americans are expected to take a licking and keep on ticking. We get a couple days out of work. We're expected to get back into it, get back to work immediately right after. And so I think that it breeds this very, very unrealistic, very, very unhealthy relationship with grief. And then it creates these very strange, weird, like habits that we have, you know what I mean? So even just like, and also like diseases, it literally creates diseases. So habits as in we don't sit with regular, like normal living grief, like normal grief that you experience being an adult and just managing life, because we don't know how to deal with death and grieving and stuff like that. And so um yeah, so I think that that's really, really, really important to kind of like just talk about how we can build a better relationship with grief, because it is something that we deal with. Last week I talked about how like you can grieve relationships, and I want to get back into that as an example. And I think that it's so important to talk about like just ways that we can better be with ourselves and the benefits that it has when we actually sit with it. So last we talked about feeling it, feeling the emotion, really, really understanding, allowing the emotion to process through, allowing us to cry, allowing us to really be with that emotion. There was something I wanted to say. I guess it'll come back to me. I hope it does come back to me. Hopefully before the end of this video. But anyway, so I'm gonna jump back into what I was saying. So I think that once we really get a handle on the way that we deal with grief, it'll help us a lot better to deal with life better, deal with things better, be able to really face our emotions better so that we're able to have better habits and being with ourselves. And that's like really, really, really like a big thing. So like I said, last week we talked a bit about really just being in relationship, things shifting, and sometimes it feels like a death, especially if you're never going to talk to that person again and you really like that person. So it's like really, really that hurts. You know what I'm trying to say? And sometimes we just be like, we don't got time, blah, 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 but then it comes up and creeps up in another situation, another relationship. So today I kind of wanted to talk about how it actually deepens our ability to feel when we actually sit with the grief of sadness or whatever, that feeling is. When we sit with it and we allow it to move through us, we give ourselves the opportunity to deepen that self-trust, to deepen that like ability to know that you're going to be okay, to trust the flow, trust God. To me, it deepens your relationship, and it can deepen our relationship with God, because it's like, okay, I know that this is hard, and allowing creation, creator, God, however you see it, the universe, however you see it, it gives us the opportunity to allow God to step in. It gives us the opportunity to allow God to show us again how beautiful and how faithful, you know what I mean? And how true that the creator had love is for us. And so I think that when you're able to lean in, it deepens again that self-trust. It deepens that trust with the creator. It deepens that trust with ourselves and our community. Because a lot of times when you sit and pray and you get into a surrendering space of like, listen, creator, this is wild, this is hard, this is scary, whatever you're feeling, the creator gives the people around you an opportunity to show up for you in a way that they wouldn't have normally, because you prayed about it. And so now the divine pulls in a soldier, pulls in a child, pulls in, you know what I'm trying to say, so that it can help navigate. And it gives you a deeper sense of community, because it's like, wow. And this is the biggest thing that I really wanted to talk about. That's so interesting, because I wasn't going to share any of those things I just shared. That's not what's on my notes at all, but I'm just going to flow with it, okay? What I really wrote down and I wanted to kind of talk about is it deepens your ability to feel the other emotions.